Managing Madrid Podcast, Final Reflections from New York City. Vini-Mbappe, Xabi's VisionThis episode of the Managing Madrid Podcast is a compilation of clips from Saturday's live Managing Madrid podcast in New York City. The discussion, hosted by Kiyan, Sobhani and Gabe Lezra, touched on the origins of Managing Madrid, the behind-the-scenes vibe of Real Madrid's Club World Cup campaign, and the Vinicius-Mbappe dilemma. Did you enjoy this podcast? Get a ton of bonus content over on patreon.com/managingmadrid. Managing Madrid is a hub for all Madridistas with updated news, op-eds, tactical analyses, artwork, and of course, podcasts. It also serves as a means for Real Madrid fans to connect and discuss the team. We would like your support so that we can continue to produce podcasts for you. The site is run by a small team that works tirelessly around the clock to make it into what it is today. Your contributions will allow us to continue to have a real and full-time presence in keeping this website, and its podcasts, going. Fan asks Rodrigo if he's joining Arsenal as Real Madrid prepare for transfer. Real Madrid star Rodrigo was giving nothing away when asked by a fan if he will join Arsenal this summer. The Brazil international's future at the Santiago Bernabeu is in major doubt, having been benched for 5 of their 6 matches at the Club World Cup in the United States. The relationship between club and player soured towards the end of last season, and while Xabi Alonso's arrival in the Spanish capital initially appeared to ease tensions, a summer departure is being considered. Real are prepared to sell the 24-year-old, valuing him at €80 million, £67 million, with, as reporting, Rodrigo has become more of a problem than a solution at the club. Arsenal have been in contact with the winger's representatives since May, with Mikel Arteta a huge admirer. Get personalized updates on Arsenal every day. Wake up to find news on your club in your inbox every morning with Metro's football newsletter. Sign up to our newsletter and then select your team in the link we'll send you so we can get football news tailored to you. It remains to be seen whether the Gunners are still interested in pursuing a deal with Noni Madueke, set to arrive from Chelsea in a £52 million deal. Arsenal have been in contact with the winger's representatives since May, with Mikel Arteta a huge admirer. Get personalized updates on Arsenal every day. Wake up to find news on your club in your inbox every morning with Metro's football newsletter. Sign up to our newsletter and then select your team in the link we'll send you so we can get football news tailored to you. It remains to be seen whether the Gunners are still interested in pursuing a deal with Noni Madueke, set to arrive from Chelsea in a £52 million deal. On Friday, Spanish outlet El Chiringuito shared a clip of Rodrigo taking in the sights in New York City, with a fan approaching him and asking, "Are you going to Arsenal?" In English. Rodrigo did not reply, instead moving on to pose with another fan for a selfie. The Brazilian's future will likely become clearer in the coming weeks, but his persistent absence from the side in the US over the last month has fueled speculation he will leave. Real Madrid's secure agreement with Ibrahima Konate, line up €50 million move. Real Madrid have an agreement in place with Ibrahima Konate and are ready to fork out €50 million to strike a deal with Liverpool. According to a report from Fitchages, Ibrahima Konate is closing in on a move to Real Madrid. The Spanish giants have agreed personal terms with the French centre-back and are preparing a €50 million offer to get a deal over the line. Konate made a name for himself at RB Leipzig before joining Liverpool in the summer of 2021. He has only gone from strength to strength over the years and has established himself as one of their mainstays. He was ever present in Arne Slot's 11 last season as they ended up winning the Premier League. While the Dutch manager would love to count on him for next season as well, the 26-year-old centre-back looks all set for a move to Madrid. He has his heart set on a move to the La Liga giants and has made it quite clear that he won't be penning a new deal at the Merseyside club. With him entering the final year of his contract, the Reds wanted to extend his stay. However, now that it seems unlikely, Liverpool are ready to sell as they do not want to risk losing out on him for free. Los Blancos are closing in on Konate's signature. Real Madrid are very keen on having Konate in their squad. They were planning to sign him for free next summer, but following their humiliating 4-0 loss at the hands of PSG in the semi-final of the Club World Cup, Xabi Alonso has requested the signing of a world-class centre-back. Konate is at the top of Real Madrid's wish list, and with Liverpool ready to sell, Los Blancos have begun making moves to get the deal done in the coming weeks. His arrival could pave the way for the departure of one of Madrid's experienced centre-backs, with multiple reports suggesting David Alaba could be the one to make way. Regardless of who leaves, Konate's arrival now looks like a strong possibility. The Spanish giants have already held talks with the player and have received the green light from his end. The report suggests they are preparing a €50 million offer, which could be enough to seal the deal. However, with less than a year left on his contract, it remains to be seen whether Madrid will go that high. What Real Madrid's semi-final humbling means for Xabi Alonso's new era. Real Madrid's 4-0 dismantling at the hands of PSG in the Club World Cup semi-final was not just a defeat, it was a wake-up call for Xabi Alonso. While the departure of Carlo Ancelotti was certainly a blow given how successful he had been, it was certainly time to move on from the Italian manager. With Xabi Alonso coming in, there was a lot of excitement amongst the Real Madrid fans thanks to his sensational work at Bayer Leverkusen. The Spanish tactician showcased a lot of promise right from the start as his team slowly started dominating the proceedings at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. While they began the tournament with a disappointing 1-1 draw against Al Hilal, things started to fall into place with every passing game. However, it all came crumbling down when they squared up against 2024-25 UEFA Champions League winners PSG in the semi-final. While many expected Los Blancos to bring an end to the French giants' dominance, Luis Enrique's team blew them away as they won 4-0 on the night. It was a hard lesson for the new Real Madrid boss, who now has very little time left to get things on track before the start of the new season. The Merengues' defeat in the semi-final was more of a reality check. While costly errors from Raúl Asensio and Antonio Rudiger within the first 10 minutes handed PSG a commanding lead, Los Blancos were far from their best, and they were simply the second best in all departments. While those errors had a big part to play in that defeat, we cannot really pin the loss solely on defensive mistakes, as PSG were the ones who dominated the proceedings, and they were deserved winners. Their midfielders controlled the tempo, and while Real Madrid's star-studded team kept chasing the ball for the majority of the 90 minutes. The French side's control was so complete that, at times, they appeared to be toying with their Spanish opponents, exposing gaps and forcing hurried decisions all over the pitch. Do Real Madrid need more signings? It is tempting to look at a heavy defeat and demand new signings, but context matters. Real Madrid were without two key summer arrivals, Dean Huijsen, suspended after a red card in the quarter-final, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, sidelined by injury. Their absence forced Federico Valverde into an emergency right-back role as Dani Carvajal was not ready to start, which in turn robbed the midfield of its usual drive and composure. Against a team like PSG, that reshuffling proved costly. With Franco Marcantonio and Alvaro Carreras set to join the squad in the coming weeks, Madrid seem to have everything they need to succeed next season. While another top-level midfielder who can help control the tempo could prove to be a great addition, they do not really have room for more signings. In the center of the park. While Luka Modric's time at the club has come to an end, Arda Güler has been entrusted to take up that role in midfield, and he certainly showcased a lot of promise during the Club World Cup. Given Ferland Mendy's injury track record, Carreras is just the perfect signing for the club. While Rodrigo could be on his way out, Real Madrid are already stacked in the final third, and with Marcantonio coming in, Xabi Alonso won't have to look at the market for a new winger. In simple terms, the Spaniard does not really need to look at the market, rather, he needs to make sure he makes the most out of the players at his disposal. What must Xabi Alonso change at Real Madrid? While the team in white certainly have the financial strength and the pull to sign any player they want, it still might not solve their problems. The tactical side of things is the answer for Real Madrid to bounce back next season. Throughout the 2024 FIFA Club World Cup, Xabi Alonso went ahead with a 4-3-3 formation, which would convert into a 3-5-2 when Real Madrid had the ball. Defensive midfielder Aurelien Tchouameni would drop into the back, while the full-backs were joining the attacks and supporting the two forwards. Valverde, who was assigned the right-wing role, was dropping into midfield and helping out Güler and Jude Bellingham. With the full-backs moving up the field and Valverde dropping into midfield, they were creating an overload in the central areas. It was one of the major reasons why they had so much control throughout the tournament. However, in the semi-final against PSG, Alonso started with Gonzalo Garcia, Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. as the front three, and Valverde was forced to play as makeshift right-back with Alexander-Arnold injured. With Dean Huijsen suspended, they were no longer that efficient in playing out from the back. While Garcia was doing a lot of defending, Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. are certainly not that adept off the ball, and with Valverde not in midfield, they were getting stretched every time PSG kept switching the play. The tactical changes left Real Madrid exposed, with no answers to the French club's pressing, and they struggled to regain possession. For Alonso, the lesson is clear that against elite opposition, balance is everything. Real Madrid certainly has no shortage of firepower in the final third, but fitting them all into the same lineup without sacrificing structure is a puzzle that needs solving. The squad is strong, the talent is there, but the system must come first. Real Madrid fans have every reason to be optimistic. With quite a few of their stars returning from injury, they will certainly do everything that is needed to succeed in all competitions. But the PSG defeat is a timely reminder, in football, there are no shortcuts. Building a new era takes patience, smart decisions, and, above all, the courage to learn from painful nights like these. Real Madrid legend Toni Kroos has backed rising star Arda Güler to have a crucial season under Xabi Alonso. Alonso has impressed on his return to Madrid, after agreeing a deal to replace Carlo Ancelotti in May, but his squad remains a work in progress. A resounding 4-0 FIFA Club World Cup defeat to PSG in the tournament semi-finals laid out how much there is to do in the Spanish capital. The club have already backed Alonso in the summer transfer market with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Dean Huijsen landing from Liverpool and Bournemouth respectively. Argentina international Franco Marstantuono will complete his move to Madrid when he turns 18 in August, but Kroos has previously suggested Ed Alonso is missing a player similar to himself. Alonso has rotated his midfield options in the USA, with Arda Güler granted a greater role, with the Turkey international deployed in a midfield slot. Kroos backs Güler to bounce back from Club World Cup woe. Güler caught the eye in North America, in his favored central position, alongside Jude Bellingham and Fede Valverde. However, he was caught out several times in defensive situations against Luis Enrique's side, with Bellingham openly frustrated at how PSG broke past him. Kroos has backed Güler to learn from the experience, and ultimately his attacking influence balances his defensive shortcomings. If you have a player like that, who can play between the lines, I'm okay with turning a blind eye if he loses a duel, he stated on the 8th Mal Luppen podcast. The important thing is he's clear about his role and participates in the team's defensive effort. Alonso has given him lots of game time so far. Last season he was ready football-wise, but physically he's taken a step forward. Quote, Güler only managed one goal at the Club World Cup, but he laid on a pair of assists in the quarter-final win over Borussia Dortmund. Alexis Mac Allister already gave Real Madrid verdict as Liverpool transfer rumours emerge again. Liverpool fans will no doubt be fed up of hearing about Real Madrid's interest in their players, so rumours involving Alexis Mac Allister re-emerging certainly won't be welcome. Already this summer, the Reds have seen Trent Alexander-Arnold make the move to the Bernabeu after running down his contract at Anfield, and there's every chance they could be in the exact same position next year. Ibrahima Konate is being linked with a move to Madrid, with fears growing as talks over a new contract on Merseyside don't appear to be going to plan. It is of course a byproduct of Liverpool's success that the world's biggest club comes after its players, although the manner in which Real goes about its business is more than a little infuriating for supporters, and hearing of another player being targeted will add to the frustration. Mac Allister though once again finds himself the subject of speculation surrounding a move to Madrid. Having said that, the reports from Spain don't come from the most reliable of sources, so there shouldn't be too much to worry about from a Liverpool perspective right now. What might be a little concerning though is the frequency with which the Argentine is linked with a move to the Bernabeu. This isn't the first time over the last 12 months, and no doubt it won't be the last going forward. I read the rumors and the news reaches me, but the important thing is the present, he told Tits Sports back in April. No matter how much the club loves me, if I play poorly this weekend, they'll lose interest. I'm fine at Liverpool and I don't have any need, Mac Allister continued. I have a lot of respect for the club, and I don't think it's necessary to talk about other clubs. It's not just the 26-year-old that has been asked about a move to the Spanish capital, with his father also broaching the subject earlier this year. Rumor mongering, Real Madrid interested in Liverpool star. Even ahead of Liverpool's first pre-season game on Sunday against Preston North End, it's still not completely clear what the Reds squad will look like in the fall. More ins and outs will happen over the next month or so, and questions abound over which current players will not be returning. World Cup winner Alexis Mac Allister is said to have garnered interest from Real Madrid, as a way to strengthen their squad. Luka Modric left the club at the end of last season, and his role needs to be refilled. Mac Allister was a standout last season for Arne Slot, and only entering year 3 of a 5-year contract, so the Reds have no real reason to support a transfer unless the price is right. The price, in fact, is at least €100 million, a reasonable fee for a player of Mac Allister's caliber in this transfer market. If Madrid are serious about their interest, then they'd need to find the money from somewhere, since they've already put out over €175 million this summer. The suggestion is that they will look to sell Rodrigo in order to get the funds to make it happen.